Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. On today's video, we will discuss managing your business risk. If you're an entrepreneur, please subscribe to my channel. Now let's begin. So what are entrepreneurs? So entrepreneurs are people who stand out as for their willingness to face risk, especially the threat of business failure. This is crucial, especially for those starting a new venture, as more than half of all startups don't make it past the first 5 years. Um, Established businesses also struggle with risk, like potential product failures, there's damage to their brand, and also their reputation as well. Regardless of size or type of risk, careful management is essential for all businesses. So earlier this year, end of last year, 2023, I showcased a businessman called Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie is a US businessman. He suggested that a practical approach to managing a risk is to put all your eggs in one basket. This is very simplified way of keeping an eye on all your businesses at the same time. But the perception of this changed in the early 21st century during the events like the Lehman Brothers collapse, which happened in 2008, and as well as the BP's Deepwater Horizon disaster, which happened in 2010. So this led to companies to focus on both risk oversight as well as managing risks within themselves, which are basically updating their procedures to avoid or minimize risk. So let's take a closer look at the Deepwater Horizon example. As some of you may have remembered this incident from 2010. This incident resulted in substantial governmental fines for BP regarding safety and practices, and as well as ethics in business. Even large and diverse organizations like BP can struggle to find the right balance between risk and profits. So early in 2010, the offshore oil rig Deepwater Horizon, operated by British Petroleum (BP), exploded, causing the death of 11 workers. This also caused a massive oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. The incident was attributed to management's failure to properly assess and handle risk. The root cause of the incident pointed to a culture of prioritizing financial gains with the mindset of every dollar counts. So analysts examined the disaster and they concluded that the BP had placed financial returns above operational risk considerations. So the CEO at the time, Tony Hayward, had previously indicated that organization's underperformance was due to the excessive caution BP took. This mindset was a recipe for, disaster, of course. There were also shareholder pressure for better returns on investment. This led to aggressive cost cutting and ultimately failures in risk management for BP. All businesses involve some level of risk. For startups, this can mean not having enough customers to generate sufficient revenue to cover expenses. There's also the risk of the competition copying the company's idea or offering a better product. If a company has borrowed from a bank, there's the risk that interest rates may increase, making repayments too difficult. Additionally, startups relying on international trade face the risk of changes in exchange rates. For small businesses, especially new ones, also face the risk of operating only in one market. Unlike larger companies that diversify their operations to mitigate risk, the success of business or small businesses is often tied to the success of one idea versus multiple income streams, or one specific geographic location, like a local community. Now, if that market or area experiences a downturn, it can lead to the failure of the business. It's crucial for new businesses to stay aware of changes in the market and position themselves to adjust to those changes. For example, in the case of Instagram, the social media app that originally began as a location-based service named Bourbon, when confronted with competition, Instagram altered its course and focused on image sharing. If Instagram hadn't responded to the risk and demonstrated the adaptability to diversify its offerings by consistently introducing new features, it might not be around today. Therefore, it is important for business to adapt to a market and always gather data on what the customer wants. Relating back to my point, I do have a funny story. I know a guy in Toronto who opened a convenience store. So when you run a convenience store, you have limited space on your shelves. So what my friend did was he grabbed things from Costco and put those items on his shelves. Over time, he started to realize that nothing was selling. So what my friend did was he asked every customer if they found everything they were looking for. So he started to gather data at a small scale, and he bought items that his customers wanted, and they were looking for those items. And frankly, and after that, his business took off. So frankly, he wasted 2 years with useless items on his shelf before he figured out that you can only sell what the customers are looking for. Eventually, his sales picked up and his store broke even, but it took him 2 years to figure out and think about the lost revenue within those 2 years that he spent putting in that time. If he had started the right way from the get-go, he would have broke even within the first or couple of months or so. So at its core, dealing with risk is a strategic matter. Business owners need to thoroughly consider the operational risk tied to a startup, a new product, or a fresh project in comparison to potential gains or losses. In simpler terms, it's about weighing your strategic outcomes of acting versus staying inactive. Quantifying and handling risk is an ongoing strategic hurdle. It's more of a continuous improvement process. While being bold can lead to success, when people's lives and businesses' prosperity are on the line, it's crucial not to be reckless and disregard caution, as what happened with my example as with BP. And thank you for joining us today. I would highly appreciate it if you could leave a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe to my channel. Please also, if you are interested in starting a business, please visit my website. The links are in the description. Until next time, cheers.